Hi, hello, vanakkam. This is Venki again with one more episode of Enba Talks. Along with me, I also have my colleague Umar here. And today we are going to discuss about an amazing product which helps in simplifying lead generation. In fact, I was trying to play around with this application. In fact, I took a trial account, a couple of weeks back, and I had a use case because I offer data warehousing solutions, and we believe that startups which are in the second phase of funding will typically get into data issues, and we wanted some reliable database which can really help in reaching out to these startups. And I did try to get this data in various applications, but somehow I was a lot of application, but somehow I was not getting specific information that I wanted. And then finally I landed up in Prelo. And Prelo really gave me the information that I wanted, but then it had its own limits because I was only using a trial version. So I think I could get only 10 data at a time, etc. But otherwise the amount of information that I got was really good, so that it exactly helped me in reaching out to the C-suite people of these particular organizations to help me with these leads. And this made me realize that most of the people in our community are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and small business owners, and this data would be extremely helpful. And then I reached out to the founder, uh, requesting for a session and a demo for the community. And here we have Mr. Olu Adedeji, founder of Prelo. And in fact, I've had a couple of discussions with him. A very, very interesting person to have some discussion. In fact, he knows what he's talking about, and whether you like Prelo or not, definitely you would like at the end of the demo. But I certainly believe that you will learn a lot from the knowledge that Olu has got. So, Olu, welcome to Bring Again and Alston's group. We are now going live. We are now streaming live on the Bring Again group, Alston's group, Sumo Deals, and also on LinkedIn, Twitter. And tomorrow it will be posted in Alston's YouTube channel as well. So, that's a kind of crowd that we have. So, welcome to our show. And before we get on to the real meat of the session, Olu, can you quickly introduce yourself? Where are you located? So that it will be helpful for us to relate to you and Prelo.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me, Venkat and Umar. Appreciate it so much. I'm based in London, as you probably can hear from my accent. Lived in London for near enough 40 years. But yeah, it's amazing to be here.
Fantastic. So, why Prelo, Olu? Why did you develop Prelo? What is your background? Because this is a very interesting set of data, and there are a lot of lead generation tools as well. So, what problem did you try to solve using Prelo, and why did this idea come to you?
Yeah, no, thank you. So I'll give you a little bit of intro about myself, right? So I'm originally from an investment banking background. I started
Okay.
life as a coder in investment banking. I was building derivatives risk strategies for derivatives traders in banking. I did about 20 years in investment banking. So my
Oh,
knowledge in terms of sort of building products is quite sort of in depth, and really sort of, over the last sort of 20 years or so, I've learned a lot, and I've built teams and mobilized teams globally. I got really sort of bored with that in 2017, and I decided that I was going to go and set up a startup. Now, you would have thought that I would have gone and done something in fintech. I thought that was too easy. So I decided to try something in the recruitment space. So we built an AI video matching platform for job seekers to find jobs in the startup space. Um,
wow.
what I was trying to do there was to try and disrupt the recruitment industry by creating a way for people to match via video, via their CV and jobs in the startup space. That failed miserably, not because the tech wasn't good, but because the recruitment industry rejected it and were
Oh,
quite fearful of the tech. What came out of that, though, throughout that process, was we had a lot of problems in terms of identifying startups that were funded and who specifically the decision makers were. So a lot of lead gen companies that we connected with, they would just want to send out thousands of emails to thousands of companies without properly qualifying those companies so that there was a specific target, a specific audience to help us increase our conversion, right? And we did that for a while and we paid a lot of money. And this is really part of our challenge and part of our the amount of money we paid to agents who didn't really bring us the leads because they didn't have the platform that could give us the information that we needed. Now, we thought, okay, if you can't do that, maybe we can, maybe we have the information to be able to do this. And what proved to us at the time that we had the information was because companies, especially small businesses and SaaS founders, were reaching out to us because they were trying to sell their products to funded funded startups reaching out to us, and we were giving them data to help them identify some of these people. So when we finally decided to close our previous startup, we then, made a decision then to build Prelo because we knew that there was a market for it. We knew that it was the cause of the failure of our first startup. And our goal was really to try and help small businesses and product makers
fantastic.
succeed where we had failed.
Okay. Although looks like your network connectivity is not so good, and there are people complaining saying that they are not able to hear you properly. So, and I
Oh,
could also see that the signal is very weak. Particularly, goes down to one. I could see the signal. You could see that yellow bars over your video on the left side.
yes, I'm not sure why that is.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Now it is okay, but then let's see. Okay, before we move on to the next part, okay, thank you, Olu, for that, detailed this thing. In fact, I'll be happy, if at all you still have that recruitment engine, I would like to have a look at it because I come from a HR background and incidentally, I mean, uh, till the time that I heard you saying that it failed, I was thinking that maybe I should ask for a discount, voucher there also and probably subscribe to that as well. But then, anyway, we can discuss about it later. But for people who are watching this, we have a special discount worked out for the Bring Again and Alston's group, which will be announced during the session. It's a very, very insane discount, which probably you will get only when you are part of this live session. And Bring Again group has worked out the discount along with Volo. Volo has been very kind to give us a discount coupon, which is really, really a good discount, which I will keep it to the end, because I need to keep you interested. So I'll keep it to an end, an irresistible offer that Bring Again and Olu are going to give you. And to make sure that you use that offer, probably Olu, I think we should show them a demo of what Prelo can do, so that the excitement that I had when I was using this application, and I want my community members also to have. Uh, uh, you can share your screen and give a demo.
okay, perfect. So I just wanted to make sure that you can still hear me okay and you can see me
Yes, yes.
okay. I
Now,
know.
now it's okay.
Okay,
Now it's
right.
gone to
Okay,
green.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is share my screen. I'm just wondering whether I needed to drop my camera resolution to a bit
Yeah. No, no, no.
less.
No, I will go out of the I mean, this thing so that
Right.
it will
Okay.
be. Let's see as it goes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm
But
just
while
going
you
to,
are
I'm just
sharing the
sharing.
screen, uh, Sam, my CEO is there on the, in the audience, watching how me and Umar are performing. Okay, so Sam, I hope we are living up to your expectation.
Because of the screenshots.
It's again gone. Yeah, Olu, your screen is visible. You can start the demo.
Let me know if you can see my screen, and I
Yes,
can
yes,
start
yes,
start
yes.
the demo.
We could see your screen. You can
Oh,
start the demo.
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. So thank you again. And I'm going to talk you through the demo now. So and I think I mentioned, or at least Venki previously mentioned, what the purpose of the platform Prelo is for. So here is the dashboard that you can see, but I'm going to take you through a registration process and essentially how you configure your profile to be able to then get to this type of screen that you're seeing in front of me. Essentially, when you get into Prelo, you come in and you put your profile in. And at this point, it's fairly basic. You put your name, you put your email address, and your LinkedIn profile if you want to as well. At the top here, you have the ability to earn points. We also give you free credits, and you are also tracked in terms of how many connections that you have made on the platform. What I mean by connections is how many people you have introduced this platform to, because these are means of allowing our users to gain points on the platform. And those points could be used to unlock contact details of decision makers on Prelo. So once you've entered all of your information here and you've saved it, it takes you straight into the settings. You find that this is actually I'd say quite a basic and very simple registration process, to be fair. At the top there, you see a saved search. I'm going to ignore that for a second and just go specifically into the bits that you need to configure straight away. So you can see from my screen that you need to set your industries up. I've already set up something for 3D printing. I may also wish to set up something for fintech or financial services if I wanted to, as an example. And what you have to remember at this point is if you're choosing SaaS as an industry, you may also want to choose B2B. It's all cumulative. The reason why it's cumulative is because the companies can belong to multiple industries, and therefore to make sure that you catch all of the industries that a particular company can belong to, it's useful to complement certain industries with additional information. So here, for example, we've added, sorry, I've just got my Slack going on. We've added, say, fintech, for example. And once you've added that, the next thing is you would include I guess, the country that you want to do your research on. And here we've put the United States. You can go with specific country and city. All of this is connected to a Google Map API, which provides you with a drop down that allows you to identify specific countries, as you can see, which I'm just trying to show you here. But yeah, once you've done that, you save your settings. Some people have just gone to try and view a dashboard. No, you need to save your settings. Once you save your settings, you then see how many startups or how many companies are available for you to be able to research and look at. And once you're done, you going to view the dashboard, and off we go. So I showed you before. I'm not going to save this because this is a profile that I use for demos quite regularly. So you get to this page. This is the page that you get to once you've saved. And on the left-hand side, we got an inbox. We've just called it an inbox for now. We'll probably call it something slightly different later. But ultimately, the all, which says 251 companies, as the list of companies that essentially belong to that group, which I've which are in fintech or 3D printing or 3D technology, which I showed you before in the setting. But essentially what I'm saying to you is you're set up now and you're good to go. So here you have all of the companies that meet the criteria that you have stipulated. You also have contacts related to those companies, where we give you information about the job titles or the jobs that they do, the companies that they're working for, when that company was last funded, how much funding that company received, and the size broadly of that company. On a regular basis, we give you deliveries of new companies. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second, but we give you regular deliveries of companies, and I'll tell you how you can activate those deliveries in order to make sure that you're continually getting new companies coming in. Now, this section is quite interesting. I haven't actually shortlisted anything as yet, but I will shortlist one now and hopefully be able to show you how that is, how you can do that. So here is a good way of shortlisting a company, where we just say you add the company to shortlist, and that company is now available here on shortlist. So that means that's a company that you're interested in because you like what they do. You've done a little bit of research about them, and you're ready to go. So yes, in a similar way, you can add them to companies that you've contacted. So essentially what I'm showing you here is like a simple workflow. If you think in the real world, you're trying to identify companies that you're interested in, you may want to shortlist them. You may have contacted some of them. You may wish to make notes on some of them as well. And that's the whole purpose of this section. Here is good in terms of identifying companies that have maybe hired in the last 6 months. It gives you just a general overview of these are the companies that are hiring. And I'll tell you a little bit in more detail in terms of how to identify what roles that they hired for or are hiring for at the moment. But I just want to keep it sort of very high level at this point. And then the next stage here is where we gather some information. This data is a little bit old at the moment. We need to do more data gathering. But essentially here is information about startups that are actively raising investment right now and where that investment is at this point in time. So, for example, looking at a company like this, we're saying, they've only raised X percentage of the investment that they've targeted. And it just gives you a view. I'll give you an example. We had a customer who essentially provides co-working space for startups. And this was really useful for them from the perspective of being able to identify companies that are growing and being able to reach out to them, whilst they're actually in investment, in the investment funnel, to be able to pitch them and help them get into one of their co-working spaces. And that's how they use Prelo for their outreach. And then here we give you more information of companies that have been recently funded. We tend to say recently funded is in the last, sort of year or so. Reason we do that is, if you're given, $150 million in investment, it's not it's quite a large sum of money that we think is still relevant in terms of execution of your roadmap. And therefore, it's still valid for you to reach out to them if you have a service to, sell. Here is, again, I mentioned about hiring. We also break down some of the information. Unfortunately, we haven't got any details for the industries that have been selected today, but we give you information about companies that are hiring at a particular month. So if they're hiring this month, you have all of that data and all of that information to view at this point. So that's just very broadly a high level. Now, I mentioned earlier as well that how do you keep the data, how do you find out new data in terms of deliveries and so on, and how do you interact with that data? Some of the things that we do here is, if you look in the funding news, so funding news was something that we created to try and help users on a mobile interact with the platform a lot easier. And what I mean by that is, you can log into Prelo, the website from the mobile, and literally just scroll through companies that you find interesting, and literally add those companies that you want to see in the dashboard and you want to see a little bit more information for. So this is an opportunity for you to interact with the platform in a different way, and therefore at a later date, when you're on your desktop, you can then assess some of those companies to see whether or not there is something interesting there for you. So that's just very sort of broadly high level. And I mentioned also you can invite people, which is just on the left-hand side of the funding news section, as a means to generate more points and so on. Just to give context, we just very quickly, we closed down our previous startup in May, and we started Prelo in June. We literally built Prelo in like 4 weeks. It was crazy. 3.5 weeks, crazy 3.5 weeks of 20-hour days. So we're still iterating. We've got big plans in terms of what we're trying to do with the platform. So forgive us if there are things that aren't working as expected immediately. We've done a lot in the last 2-3 months as well. So it's just to give you a context. So very quickly, I'm going to share with you as well. So if you can see here, this is the industry. This is like how you create like saved searches. I think I mentioned about saved searches before. So trying to create a saved search here, for example, I'm going to share with you how you can actually just do normal searches before we start to go into saved searches. You can search a company by name. You can search a company by industry, for example. So I'm guessing that these are industries in the financial sector. Yeah, so financial services. These are companies that have been listed in the financial services. You get a little bit more information about them and you can shortlist them. And as I mentioned to you before, you can see some of the jobs that they posted recently. So that's, and you can do a combination of things. You can search by the roles that they've hired for as well. So, I'm searching for companies that are hiring for marketers, for example. So we can see, okay, here's a company in the financial, or that's listed as a financial company who's looking for a marketing manager. So that gives you, these are things that we looked at and realized was important in identifying growth. And these are all part of the growth signaling that we're talking about. What I mean by that is this, if I put some around this, if a company has recently received funding, if a company is hiring people, if a company is hiring, you know that they're going through a period of growth. They are trying to either change their branding, move things forward, or whatever. These are, hiring, these, especially in large numbers, these are key indicators that, people need to understand means growth. And because, as I mentioned at the start, we try to build a SaaS platform to identify companies that were hiring, dynamically identify companies that were hiring using something else. And that's why we have incorporated all of these into Prelo to help make it quicker. So Prelo is not about downloading thousands and thousands of data every month or every week, downloading specific information based on targeted data, curated information that we've given you to help make decisions. So that's one. Just very quickly that I'm going to share here is we will have a rating mechanism for each of the companies. We give you detail in terms of how those run about, and what we're doing there is we give information at high level whether the company hired in the last 6 months, whether they funded in the last 2 years, what the industry matches were with what I selected, and what identify themselves as. Are they hiring right now? Are they fundraising soon? Bits of information that we also to help, so as product makers and services identify companies that are growth phase. Just very quickly, so we're talking about finding companies using this search, the search panel. You can also delve a little bit further into the location. If you remember when we set it up, I just went to the United States. It gave me a really broad view of all of the companies in the particular industry that I selected, right? Now we're going to delve in and say, well, we only want companies in San Francisco, for example. So you can then start to drill down by specific location. Apologies, some of this is blurred because this is our dev server, and it's got information. It's an account that I just used to demo for demos purposes, right? So in terms of what you can do is quite powerful. And in terms of information you can get, really useful. You can filter by the size of employees. This is really important. It's really important because if you have a small company with a high or at least a decent funding size, a small company means there's a quicker route to get to the decision makers, right? So finding small companies is good because you can then say, right, okay, there are only 50 people in this company or only 100 people in this company, and they've just raised a lot of money. Maybe there's somebody there that I can reach out to and they would be interested in what we're doing. That's kind of our thought process. And this is also our thought process with the job matching platform we created a few years ago. And secondly, there is the opportunity to select a different funding stages. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But ultimately, once you've selected your funding stage and you've selected number of employees, you've selected industry, you can even go in terms of fundraise. You can narrow that information down as you wish. But once you've selected that, the next thing you would do is just save that. You're saving the search. Once you've saved the search, all of a sudden you've got some saved searches that appear at the bottom here. And this is an example of a saved search, which is looking, I mentioned before, the 3D technology companies. So this is a 3D technology company in the US with, X number of people, 100 to 250 employees. And there you go. You can, right now, I'm going to just very quickly say that we have no CRM integration just yet. We will build one. That's on the roadmap. But right now, what you can do is download the data of the companies that meet your criteria. Typically, what people do is shortlist companies and then do the download within the shortlist section of the platform. But yeah, that's basically how it works at the moment. And also for clarity, the fundraise section here, where is specifically for it's not for the entire length and breadth of the funding size. The reason is a lot of our customers have come to us and said, well, I'm only looking for companies in the region of 5 million to 2 million, whatever, because those are the companies that I'm only interested in. There's no point for us having a slider that gives you from 0 to 100 million. It's just not going to work with what we have created so far. But yeah, so that's broadly what you have with Prelo and what we've created so far. I'm just trying to reset this now, and I think I mentioned to you before in terms of how you change the status of the status of a particular company, additional information you get, the ability, I guess, as well to look at some of the employees is also a good thing that we have created. We're still developing this some more, where you're able to find the contact information, which we can do by just clicking this to show you the email address or potential email address of that particular person. In a similar way, in this contacts list area, this is specifically, and this is really where I feel that Prelo comes into its own, it's specifically identifying C-suite and key decision makers. So it's not everybody in the company. We're just picking up key decision makers for you to look at for a particular company. So a founder, co-founder, head of partnerships, head of sales, depending on what it is that you're trying to do and how you're trying to connect with them. But that's broadly it. And what's really useful here is you can say, I'm looking for the head of marketing. And that's it. These are people in marketing for specific companies. So chief marketing officer and so on. And these are really sort of targeted bits of information to help you identify these companies and these decision makers very quickly. To be able to find people by the companies and how much they raised and how big the company is and the type of jobs that they do and the location and the funding stage that they're at is so powerful. It's not like anything that there is out there at the moment. And we're still building, we're building some more stuff into it. If you want to find out a little bit more information as well, what we do is we give you this Prelo help section, which basically just gives you sort of really sort of good, quick, I guess, bits of information to help you understand specifically the funding stages, for example. So here we're talking about pre-seed. People typically ask me, oh, what does pre-seed mean? How much does that mean that the company, has or has raised? We tell you that, what that price point is. And the same with, a seed round, Series A round, I think we go up to Series D. We're going to add some more. And in fact, I wrote a blog about this that gives you a little bit more detail, where if you click learn more, that takes you to that blog and you can really sort of read a little bit more. And especially if you're a SaaS founder or if you're a solopreneur thinking, maybe I'm thinking about raising investment, you can understand in that blog specifically what VCs are looking for when you are at a particular point in your, in the journey of your company, should we say. So I'm going to close that for now and just, let you have a look at this. I don't know if I'm still okay for time at this point, but this is really where I get really excited about what we can do and what we're planning to do and so on. And typically as a user of the platform, you would unlock an email or access a LinkedIn profile, and off you go. You can then engage with that person and see whether or not this is the opportunity that you're presenting is something that they perhaps will be interested in. Just thinking whether there is any additional information that I should be sharing with you at this point, or maybe Venkat wants to jump in to let's have a look. So I'm just going to quickly show you something here, which is, oh, sorry. Before I do that, I don't think I showed you about how the saved searches actually work. I apologize. I talked you through how to identify the different filters, but I don't think I actually talked through exactly how the filters work. So at the moment, what we have done, and we're a little bit constrained partly because of how quickly we had to build this when we realized that there was a gap in the market for what we're doing. There's a slight constraint in terms of the way that the saved search works. It only works for the location that you're set. And what you can do, as you can see here, is it gives you the number of qualified companies based on the particular search criteria that you have put in for that location setting. So if you think about the search as as essentially two components. There's a component that basically does gives you the setting and gives you the industries. That's is the one component. And then there's a component that helps with the additional filters. And once you've got the broad information that you're looking for, and those are the filters that have been created into saved searches. Because you may have companies in fintech or crypto in the US, and there may be tons of them, right? And you may only want to engage with companies that are in Series A only, or companies that are just pre-seed only, maybe, or companies that have raised between 1 and 5 million, maybe. So the ability to be able to do that with this saved search is really that's what we're really excited about. What we are going to do going forward is we're going to allow you to have this saved search across multiple location settings, but for now it's across just one location setting. So here we're saying in the United States, 3D tech companies there, 26 in our database. Remember, this is the dev database, so it's not quite as big as the production database. And once I've set that, it dynamically just gives me the companies that meet my my criteria, which I shared with you before. Similarly, if I did for Stellar or for crypto companies, it's the same way that this will work. So we're looking at 3D companies here, and you can see it's already set that to 3D for in terms of how it's searching the industry section of the platform. To reset this is just simply reset, and you're back to all of the information that you have. But what's good about this is it just allows you to move between different searches. As you know, if you've used searching functionality before, it's fairly straightforward, and you can build up to 4 of these searches per location. What we're doing is actually storing some of this information, and hopefully once we build out more functionality on our roadmap, we can allow you to save multiple multiple settings and multiple searches and so on and so forth. The bit that I didn't actually explain, which was quite bad of me, is the funding news, from one to the other. But I think these are some things that I think are very, very important. The funding news section, why this is important, and I think I glossed over it before, is that you're being asked questions about the way that you're interacting with them, and therefore those questions are helping the platform store information that will help it suggest better companies to you. This information is constantly being updated. I think we run processes every sort of 4 hours or so to push new information into the platform. Here, I'm looking for a typical example of the types of questions. I don't think I'm going to do all the productions for a second and just try and see whether there are the questions here that can help. So, for example, it says, "Hi, Lou, we're adding some startup recommendations to your feed," and that's because I interacted with it before about something. And there's, and various. So here is, "Hey, I would deliver 24 companies to your account today." Of course, you can just listen on, but these are the interactive, friendly kind of messages that the platform so that we're able to share more useful information on a more regular basis. But yeah, so I just had to jump into the production system to show you some of those real time type of questions. I think I've pretty much explained as much as I can. What I'm going to show you finally is something that we built in, and the ability to be able to send email from within the platform. Okay, give me to upgrade my plan, but ultimately what you to do is see my action service at this point. Once you get
Volu, your looks like your network has got a problem. Again, your voice is
oh,
garbled, and you could
uh,
see that 1 minute. Can you just switch off your video for a minute so that see if it's okay?
yeah, sure. Let me do that. Okay, let me know if that's better. Is that better or no?
Yeah, you can start speaking now, Olu.
Okay, perfect. Just let me know if it's dropped off again. Is that okay now?
Yeah, it's getting better. You can continue.
Okay, perfect. Apologies there. So this is a section that I wanted to show you. I tried on the dev server, but it said I needed to upgrade my plan. But what we've done here is we've basically collected a number of really useful email templates across various companies to help, especially small businesses, understand how to create sort of email workflows based on companies that have spent millions of dollars creating workflows, and allows you to integrate those into your email process. So you can do this in the same way that you would with individuals and individual emails as well once you unlock them. So it's fairly straightforward. I think what's happening with the network is probably because of the way that I'm moving and downloading data or something. I'm not quite sure, but ultimately so if you unlocked this, for example, you would get the opportunity to send the email integrated, or at least it will fire up the email client that's your default email client, and it's able to send the email to that individual. Sorry, I'm swapping between the dev and the production server because the permissions that I have on dev versus production is slightly different. But hopefully, I'm hoping that this has been really useful. And I don't know whether Venkat has any specific questions to ask me at this point.
There are plenty of questions. Probably you can switch on your video because your network has become a little better now. Uh,
Okay.
so so I think we will take the screen off so that it's better that we both speak. Uh, yes, yes. No, it's fine. I've removed it from the stage. Uh, so I think that there's
Oh,
plenty of
perfect.
questions. Yes, there were some glitches in terms of hearing your audio, but otherwise there's some. But primarily, one question that is coming up with a lot of people is what is the accuracy of this data and what is the source of this data? I'm sure that you have answered some of these questions while you gave a demo, but just for late tuners and also to ensure that we get the specific questions answered, what is the source of this data and what is the accuracy of the data?
So in terms of the source of the data, we're constantly doing like web crawls on the platform. Like regularly, we have a number of machines that's constantly doing that. In terms of accuracy, the accuracy is as accurate as uh, I don't know. We haven't benchmarked the accuracy, but it's from the sources that we're picking up the information from. It's as accurate as you would get, other
Okay.
than changes in real life on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. Maybe I'll just change the question a little, that could probably answer the previous question. So how frequently is this database updated?
Okay, so there are two types of updates that happen. One, there's a monthly update of the data, and what I also do as part of that monthly update is to give an aggregated view of the types of investments that are happening across the various industries within the companies that we're pulling in. So, for example, this month just gone, I shared about 7 different industries from health tech to ed tech and sustainability, where I shared how much was invested from which country and so on. And then there's a second type of updates that happen, which is from the funding news section, where information is constantly being brought in, and that information is part of information that exists on the platform already. So I'll give you an example. We may upload, I don't know, 2,000 companies into the platform today, and it may take us 2 or 3 days to get through every single company and pick up the jobs that they've advertised in the last 6 months or in the last 2 months or whatever. So that type of secondary information perhaps is
Ah,
happens in the background, but the core
fantastic.
information, yeah, but the core information that you need happens every month.
Okay. So there is a few questions from Alberto Oliveira Jr. Is there a list of industries that are covered?
Oh, we've got a really long list of industries, right? So, but what I tend to do is break it down you know, into probably 12 or so industries. In fact, as I mentioned, I wrote a blog, which I think maybe would be a good idea to share at some point during this conversation. But typically, we cover health tech, ed tech, sales and marketing. We cover cryptocurrency. We cover fintech. We cover financial services. We cover sustainability, agriculture, manufacturing, and hospitality and leisure. And but but the list is broad, right? We cover SaaS. We cover information technology. The list is so broad, but broad, but at a high level, I'm just giving you, I guess, a view of what we cover.
Okay. A related question, is there a list of countries that are covered? Are you just catering to a particular country, or is it wide and, I mean, length and breadth of the world?
Yeah, no, that's really, really interesting question. So we cover, US, UK, Europe, Canada, the Middle East. We're not covering Africa just yet, but we're covering Asia, Japan, China, and so on. In Europe, we covering all the countries well, majority of the Western countries in Europe we cover as well. But bear in mind though that the data in terms of investment, we know that the data that we hold for the US is probably about 70% of the entire investment. I guess investment overview of the data we cover.
Fantastic. So again, a related question, probably you covered it, but then somebody's asking, can I find specific information for Spain? Is there data that is available for Spain?
Yes, there is data that's available for Spain. I'm just wondering if I can just share. But yeah, there's information across
Yeah, your
for
screen is
this.
now visible. Your screen is now visible.
Oh, right. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so there's data from Spain. This is a production server, so things may be a little bit, But yeah, so example, I mean, just very quickly, which I'm showing information about clean tech and so on. But with Spain, I don't know. I mean, there may be. I'm not sure. Okay, so there's nothing in. Okay, it says 205 startups. I'm not 100% sure, whether they're all from Spain at this point, but yeah. So yeah, my system is all quite slow today. So if I view dashboard. But yeah, so just to answer your question, we do cover Spain, and I give a breakdown every month of the types of industries that and countries that are covered. So we're actually working on creating an Airtable at the moment that will give all of our subscribers a high level view across industry, across country in terms of investment, and so on. So yeah, we're working on that at the moment. You probably find that my video is probably a little bit, not very good at the moment. I think this tends to happen when data is being transferred. Yeah, not sure why this is a little bit slow today, but yeah.
Okay,
So
and a related question again. What about India?
oh yeah, we cover India. I think there's probably. I was just thinking. Yeah, I mean, we 100% cover India. It's as I mentioned. I'm sorry I didn't actually mention that before, but yeah, we definitely cover India.
Okay, fantastic. So, yeah, this is a question from Pravash.
Mhm.
He's asking, the product looks very promising. What about the new updates and future updates? Is it covered?
We're still working on the roadmap. I think I mentioned before that we literally built this in 3 or 4 weeks when things were really hectic for us, right? So we're still trying to find our feet and so on, and working out exactly what that ultimate roadmap will look like.
Okay. So can I split this question into two part for the benefit of people who are watching us? One, I mean, it is about the updates of the data. The data gets updated frequently, month after month, and there is a feature update as well. And I think that answer that you gave is for more for the feature update. Probably there are new features that would come up. You haven't decided based on the roadmap, but the data update, there will not be any limit, right? Whatever limit that I have, whether it is 10 emails per day or 40 emails per day or per month, etc., that I would get forever. And there will not
Yes,
be
yeah,
any
yeah,
restriction on data.
100%. Yeah, exactly. No, we're not changing the limits at all. Otherwise, that's not. And that,
Fantastic.
yeah, we're definitely not changing the limits at all.
Okay, so
Just
I don't know, probably because you showed us the map, Google Map API. So there's a question that has come up. So are you crawling from Google or with the APIs, the data?
the APIs. That was our Google Map API. Is that the question? Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, so I mean, how are you getting the source for the data? I think they're asking about that. So
Oh,
is
at
it
it,
from Google or are you getting it through some APIs?
getting it through some APIs is what we're doing at this point.
Okay,
It's
fantastic.
it's a combination. I mean, some of the funding platforms and the funding information, we're crawling sites to understand and get information about their funding status of companies. We've spent a lot of time actually delving into that because we did that for our previous company to understand companies that have been funded on those platforms. So we did an analysis in order to be able to present that information the way that we have.
Got it. So, I mean, I do not know who shared this comment. Tool looks polished, but for tools like this, you have to test it yourself to see how rich the database is. If database is poor, good UI is not much of use, and if database is too good, I can bear with the bad UI. Hopefully, you have a trial available so that we can try it out.
Yes, we've got a free trial available, which you can just jump on the platform and try. Of
Okay.
course, the data is somewhat limited, but yeah, there is a free trial.
Yeah, there is a free trial available. I did test out the application only using the free trial. There are certain limitations which comes with the free trial because it is all about data, and if you get everything, it's not going to be. I mean, it's not going to be viable for the organization. So free trial is available. Please go ahead and test it yourself. And Fernando says that this looks awesome. By the way, okay,
Oh,
so
thank you, Fernando. Appreciate it. Appreciate
okay,
it.
so
Thank
there
you.
are some questions with in terms of comparison with another tool, but before that, so I think I should answer this question. Okay, what gap does Prelo hope to fill? Is it limited to aggregating data of startups?
The gap we're trying to fill is going to be a little bit broader than that. The gap we're trying to fill is the creation of a marketplace. We're trying to actually build a vision that allows people who have purchased Prelo to come into a community and work with other startups that are in need of their services. So that's one of the gaps that we're trying to fill. And, I can attest to the fact that one of the other things that this platform, as you probably can have guessed, is interest in VCs, because it's an opportunity for them to identify companies that are on the cusp of growth, especially VCs that are maybe investing in Series A companies or investing in seed companies can see if a company has raised pre-seed and therefore able to engage with their founders. So very very quickly, yes, the initial offering is to fill a gap that provides data aggregation, but long term is to create a marketplace for all of our members and subscribers to Prelo. And just to say that our focus at this very point is to help product makers and solopreneurs who are paying either over the odds for lead gen. So it's not really a platform for people to come in and download thousands of, hundreds
Yeah,
and hundreds of records. It's a data centric platform.
understood. I think you answered, or rather, this question was asked differently, and if you've answered it, are you guys using your own database or is it coming from a third party database? You're pulling it from various APIs, is that right? So,
Correct. Yeah, exactly. And we built our own database off the back of that.
fantastic. So, a couple of more questions, and then we'll go to the most important part of the special discount that we're going to offer for Bring Again. The industries are covered. Okay, so this is a comparison. I do not know if you know about Sales Rocks. In fact, Sajwal has already answered this question. Another community members answered this question. But how does this differ from Sales Rock? Are you aware of Sales Rocks?
I've only just recently been made aware of it. A few people have told me about Sales Rocks. Actually, somebody has suggested that I speak to the founder and think about how we can collaborate and bring Sales Rocks and Prelo together. But apart from that, I haven't.
Okay. So I mean, so the most of the comment seems to say that we are not the hunter dot we are not like hunter.io. We are more towards sales rocks. That's a conversation that's been going around with members, and they've been answering each other. So if because you do not know what sales rocks is, maybe you will not be able to answer in terms of how is it different from sales rocks. You have to look at Prelo for what it can offer. So Genie, yeah. It definitely was good, Genie. We enjoyed the movie. After 2 years, we went to a theater and watched the movie. Thank you so much. Okay, so don't. Sales Rocks is a garbage. Okay, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
shouldn't. I do not know who it is. So, anyway, so. Oh, Umar. It's from Umar. Okay. I mean, we've been talking about, rather, before we get into that, uh, why Prelo? What is Prelo?
just
Name.
very, Oh, the name. Oh, this is an interesting one, and I've told it a few times. It was a name I came up with in about half an hour. Okay, what I found out in the end was that Prelo is actually a province in Spain. Actually, I
Oh,
think is in the
okay.
north of Spain. But what's interesting, and this is what quite personal to me, is I compete in like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, which is a martial art. They call it the gentle art, um,
Mhm.
and the word "elo" is a Portuguese name for connection,
Oh,
and "elo" is connection. So maybe there's somebody from Brazil that will correct me a little bit here. I'm not sure, but the name "elo" is connection, and and I thought, well, what we're trying to build is a people, relationships, and connections. So I took the P from the people, I took the R from the relationship, and I took the LO from connection in the word LO in Portuguese. But then I later found that Prelo is actually the name of a province
the province in Spain.
in Spain. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So, I've been talking about a special discount offer, etc. So, I think, we've come to the fag end of the session. Maybe you should say what is it that, we're going to get special. But before that, I'm sure that you know that there are, coupons that are available in the various sites that, your software is available. Are my community members going to get anything better than that is available elsewhere? So probably we'll get the English answer and then we will get to the numbers, because I mean, honestly, even I do not know. Olu said that, I want to surprise your community members by giving a coupon, so so that you can buy this. But then one thing that I wanted to confirm is, because we have various ways and means of getting discounts in the various platforms. So the discount that you are going to offer today, is it going to beat all these?
100%.
Okay, okay.
100%.
Okay, so 100% is not the discount, right?
I wish. I'll be coming to ask you for a job tomorrow if I did that.
Yeah, many times the greedy part of me, comes out, but then, okay. So fantastic. So because I wanted to confirm this, because I know that Prelo is available in a couple of platforms, and there are certain memberships that are available in the various platforms, and there are ways and means of getting discounts. So, and if you're going to offer the same, it's not going to be exciting for these people, and they've spent an hour here, and there are members who will watch it later as well. And so I want this to be really special, because this is something that we are doing it through Bring Again and Alston's group. Would you want to now surprise us as to what is the discount percentage that you're going to offer us, and what is the discount code that they have to use? And before you hear that from Olu, uh, you have to go to prelo.io/price. I've displayed the URL, and that is where you can buy prelo.io I mean, sorry, Prelo, subscription to Prelo. You have subscriptions, you have special deals, etc. Just go to that page and you can see that. And now, Olu, over to you. What would be the discount, and what is a gift, I mean, a discount coupon that they should use?
Do you want me to do a drum roll? But hey, listen, I just want to thank everybody for joining today, and thank you, Venkat, for inviting me. I think getting your email and just having a conversation with you has been just absolutely amazing. Great meeting Umar as well, and really just I've just felt really welcomed into the community, right? And I think my way of just repaying that is by offering a 50% discount on our current lifetime deal, which is there isn't that much of it left. But what I have done specifically for this group is if you type in Venki 50, that will get you the 50% lifetime deal discount, which you can only get on our platform. And that would, I guess, that is available for the next 7 days. So you've got 7 days to make the purchase. There is nowhere else that's doing that at the moment across all of the various sites, whatever that Venkat just mentioned. So this is for me to sort of pay back the welcome and the trust and everything that you guys have shown me over the last week or so is really my way of just saying thank you. I hope everybody heard that, Venkat. It's the promo code. I'm just going to repeat it again. It's Venki50, and that gets you a 50% discount, which you can use in the next 7 days. I'm not sure what's happened. Can everybody still hear me? I think it's probably the first just to find out if there's a problem with. Oh, is it a problem with my? Let me switch off my. Let me. Switch off my camera. I think I'm not sure what's happened. We just wait for Venkat to come back, hopefully. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's what here. Has Venkat dropped off? Hi, okay. I can see Venkat's back. Hi, I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. I still you're on mute.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Perfect. I think I can hear you now.
So I'm sorry, there was a power outage here, so that's where I got messed up for a minute, particularly when you are telling the discount percentage. So I could see that there is a discount coupon that you are given. So what is the percentage of discount that we are going to get? I have not heard it yet.
So in a way, 50% discount under the coupon Venki50. That's Venki50, and that's 50% discount for the.
And whatever I've displayed on the screen, is that right? Is that how they have to enter?
Yes, that's correct. That's perfectly right. Yes.
Fantastic. So you get a 50% discount. If you go to their page. And do we have a refund period, Olu? Is there a no questions asked refund that is available on your website?
We haven't got a refund set up at the moment, but happy to have a conversation. It's not something that we've actually set up, but yeah, happy to have a conversation. If you're not happy with with the platform, happy to give refunds, no problem.
Okay, so the I mean, can we say that for 14 days? Do you want to give a time so people can
Yes,
test it?
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, typically 14 days, and I think for us, because it's such a deal that we've provided that doesn't exist
Got
anywhere,
it.
it has to be a relatively short period
I,
of time.
I got it. So if I heard you right, uh, they can use the coupon Venki50 to get a 50% discount on whichever plan that they choose in https://prelo.io/price. And second thing is, it is available only for 7 days. 7 days
Correct.
from today, this offer is available. And third thing, you have a 14-day refund period, but I would rather suggest that there's a free trial that is available. Test the application, and if
Exactly.
you like it, then subscribe, because I believe the system is not set up for refund yet. But still, Olu, wants to. I mean, is okay to have a conversation and give you a, refund. But then I would rather suggest that you have 7 days for this coupon to. I mean, for this offer to expire. So between this time, sign up for a free trial account. And okay, so Olu, there is a problem. Alberto says that I used the coupon but was charged full price.
Oh, okay. I'll check that. And did you click on any of the prices, or did you just press the coupon and subscribe?
Okay, Alberto, did you pick any plan, or do you straight away clicked on the coupon and entered? Okay, but do not worry about it, Alberto. I think,
We'll sort it out,
yeah,
please.
we will
Yeah,
have this sorted out. It should not be a problem at all. As soon as this session is over, probably Olu will have a look at it,
absolutely.
and if there is a glitch in the system, probably he will sort it out, and he'll also make sure that
You get your
whatever.
refund.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Alberto is saying that I subscribed and then clicked the plan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay, he said I typed in the coupon in and it accepted it. So so maybe
Okay.
you just have to have a look at it. But Alberto Oliveira, be assured
Yeah, we'll
that
get that resolved for you.
yeah, Jeannie, this is for all the plans that are there in that page. You decide what plan that you want to do. For whatever plan that is available on that page, this coupon is, applicable for any plan, whether it is monthly, annual, or whatsoever it may be. Okay, so that's it. So one more time, Prelo is available. You can compare the price with any of the other platforms that it is currently available. Um, you know, uh, there is a price difference that you could see in two platforms, but the discount can never go beyond what Bring Again has brought to you. And use the coupon Venki50 to get a 50% discount and enjoy Prelo, and enjoy your lead generation. Using Prelo. In fact, particularly with respect to the startup and all those things, I really found the data to be very interesting, and I'm sure that it will be interesting as well. And secondly, I really found Olu to be a very, very approachable, founder. So feel free to give him the feedback that are necessary to make Prelo better for him and us as well, because we are all one of the early adopters, and if the tool is going to get better, we are also going to get benefited from this tool. So,
Absolutely.
closing comments, Olu?
Just thank you very much. I mentioned just really welcoming community that that you've built, Venkat, and I'm really privileged to be a part of it. And just thank you so much for inviting me. And
Okay,
Alberto, I'll get that resolved for you ASAP.
fantastic. So, Alberto, you can probably ping me on Facebook. I will help you sort this out. Okay, so there are wishes that are coming for you, Olu. Before we wind up, there are two Enba revealers that are there in the group. There are two products which I have not named, but have given some description about two products. One of the product, we are going to have a live session tomorrow, and there's going to be some exciting giveaways as well for tomorrow's product. thoroughly enjoying using that particular product, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it as well. And I'm not going to name that product now, and tomorrow morning when I'm announcing the session, probably you will know whomsoever has guessed that product are eligible for the giveaway. You are directly entered into the giveaway, and the giveaway is going to be very exciting. And there's two products. One which is a mobile application builder. The other one is a again, outreach tool. So if you have already not commented, please go and comment your guess. If we don't really worry whether your guess is right or wrong. The moment you have commented, you are eligible for the giveaway. But do attend the live session, and as always, you know that in Bring Again, you need to be part of the live session to get your giveaway. Thank you so much, and as always, you've been a wonderful audience and been happy talking to all you people. And I do not know what is this and what. Okay, Jeannie, I do not know what is this question and what. Okay, so tomorrow, same time, probably an hour before, I'll meet you with yet another amazing product, which I have not revealed yet. And yeah, and what, I do not know, Ginny. I do not know how to answer that question. Okay. Okay, no, there isn't anything today. Okay, so we kind of negotiated a better deal for all the people, so that's why we compromised on the giveaway, right? Yeah, there is no giveaway, Sajwal. Today, and if you had looked at the promotions, we did not uh, say the giveaway as well. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.